Well, I'm waiting. I'm making some new nickel plating solution for a project I'm working on over there. It's been a long project, so, but the solution I had went out, and so I had to make a new batch. So I figured the best thing to do is to try and kill myself here. No, is to start another project, because you can't have too many going. So I am going to turn this into a window. It's pretty straightforward, but we're going to do a rough opening for this window. Is going to be 24. I'm writing it here so I don't have to keep looking for it. By 36. Okay? We're going to use this as our one side, our king stud. This one I'm going to have to replace with another king stud over here. We'll cut this one out, add 2 jack studs. I am going to put somewhat of a header on it. I mean, this top plate is going to be right above it, but I figure it's not a bad idea. I just got to figure out where I want it. Ooh. Tomorrow and the next day the rain stops, and so I would like to have it going in, cutting the outside tomorrow. That's pretty good right there, right? The other one is higher, but I think I like that. All right, I'm gonna pull out some nails and stuff, some screws. I'll bring you back through each phase of the project here. Added a jack stud here, and I cut my king and jack stud for this side. We're gonna cut this guy out. Well, I think I'm gonna see. I have some 2x6 I'll use for the header, so we'll get that to put it together and go from there. I marked the top where the top of the header is going to be, and I cut that. Then I measured down. It's 36 rough opening. I measured 37.5 for the bottom sill, and marked that. I'm going to cut that and get this piece out. And these will position like pretty close to that point. But I needed a little more room. And we're leaving the bottom and the top of the old stud for cripplers. You may have guessed that I'm not a carpenter, but I wanted to, share what I do. I finished the cuts with this little oscillating, vibrating saw. That way I got behind the old stud and was able to cut the nails coming through the siding. The reason I positioned the window where I did is I didn't interrupt the seam on my siding this way. The seam is behind this stud and this stud. So nothing here is built to current code. So if it stays up, we'll be doing great. Okay, I'm gonna take these out and nail them together because I can't nail behind the old stud that's now a crippler. So I guess I could go this way, but no, we're just gonna take them out, nail them together, and then put them up as a pair. So that's what's next. I'll lay it on the floor to do it, and then we'll see if I can get up again. I don't know if I mentioned it, but you had a piece of plywood in between, and that way I do need to trim that a little more. It'll come out flush, because 1.5 plus 1.5 plus half equals 3.5, which is the width of a 2x4. Why didn't we go metric? Okay, I want to trim about 1/8 inch off of there because my eagle eye isn't what it used to be. I haven't swung this framing hammer in a long time, and it shows. I I think I framed the outside, or I sided the outside of the garage here. I did some window replacements, but I haven't swung this guy in a while, and it's heavy. But anyway, header's in, nailed through there, gonna nail it through here, nailed to there. I don't need to put another cripple because it's only for attaching siding, and the siding's already there. I'll leave this one when I put the sill plate. I might add one on the bottom. I don't know, but it's 24 here and square. Doesn't probably look at it in the camera, but it is. I checked it. So I will get some nails in there, and then I should tell you, the upper plate is a double. That's how you know it's a load bearing. My lower plate is a single, and none of it is attached to the concrete. This is just so to make this garage square. When we moved in, it was like this, and we used taking off the old siding and putting on the new siding to get it like this. All right, I didn't like it, so I took it out and I put a crippler on either side of the sill. It's purely aesthetics. You don't need to double up your kings and your jack studs until you're like, I think it's like 60 inches wide. Again, we got a 34-inch opening. Tomorrow when I cut the hole and the rain dies down, I'll add a few screws or galvies to the siding on this piece, because since we took that one out, got a little bit more bow there. Hi. And then, again, it is a load-bearing wall, so it technically, a header is a yes. I could take the crippler out and put it here. It would be 16, get closer to 16s on center, be under, which is good, but not going to do it. This thing is probably the strongest part of my whole wall. So tomorrow, this will go from the outside in the hole. We'll screw it in, we'll shim it. I got some cedar to trim it, just like my other window is outside. If it's not pouring, I'll take you with me. Then I need to fix my door, which the crappy door I bought, the trim is all rotting on the bottom. So I figured, since we're upgrading shop, this is gonna be nice to get some more light in. Of course, I'll probably cover it with stuff that I need to hang up. We'll worry about that when we get to it. I'm gonna go clean up my mess and get back to my other project, which hopefully is out by the time you see this. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I got a break in the rain this morning, so I want to get this cut out, get the window slapped in, and yeah, do that. So I didn't look on the outside. I know some stuff hanging on the garage, but I think it's further that way. Let's see. Ta-da! I'll go out and check before we saw. I don't think I have to take anything down though. I did most of it without you because I don't like an audience. So I'm on YouTube. Okay, don't get mad at me, but I wasn't gonna go buy a roll of flashing tape for a free garage window. So I have this cold weather duct tape, not duct tape, duct tape. And I went ahead and used that. And then through some shims, I'm gonna screw the window. I have some construction screws I gotta dig up. Screw the window in from the outside. And we'll see what we're gonna do next. But I gotta get that set up, so y'all wait here. But anyway, I caulked, I had this left over behind the flange. I have a brand new one to caulk all around the cedar on the outside I'm gonna put up. And then I'm gonna come in and frame the inside. I'm not sure why. I just feel like it because I'm avoiding other responsibilities. But we have a working window. So, oh, look at that. Now I gotta keep my yard clean if I'm gonna keep filming out here. Okay, I slapped that up there. It just loose. This is done to match the other window that's on the end of the garage. And then I'm gonna use that as a guide to put these on. And then we'll slap the bottom on and we'll be done. And then I'm gonna caulk it. And then when it's dry, I'll paint it. I am gonna use the rest of that little tube of caulk and give a squeeze behind there. Again, this gets a lot of rain. So, and I don't think, yeah, once again, not gonna make you watch all that, but that's what I'm doing. And I'm also using up this caulk that would eventually just dry up on my shelf. I'm just gonna give it a squeeze, get a little extra on the screws. So as it turns out, I had another caulk that hadn't dried up yet. So I was able to use both of these. Now I have a brand new one that I don't have to worry about it drying out. There's still a little left in there, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and let it go. So I caulked the bejesus out of it. And no, I didn't do any flashing. I could have. I didn't feel like going to get any. I'll be able to watch it. The other window's the same way, and it hasn't leaked in 10 years, so I feel pretty good about it. But I will keep an eye on it. So let it dry. Thank God we got a little bit of sun. Prime it, maybe paint it today, and I'm going to go ahead and do a little trim on the inside before I move on to the project. So I hope you got something out of this. Okay, update. I'm trying to use up a bunch of scrap, and I found these old shelves. They're plywood that somebody put a nice little piece of fur on the end, and they stick out. I don't know, they're that big. And I thought, wow, that'd be a good place to put clutter. And I have another piece of it. I was debating putting one up here, and then I have a place for more clutter up there. But I think that might be getting a little carried away. So, but yeah, I'm just going to use the junk wood I have lying around to finish this up.